welcome, welcome. Hey, how are you doing there, Gladys?
Oh my goodness. It is 95 degrees today.
Is that why the sundress is on?
Yeah, I had a jacket on, but I've been out and about, running around at appointments, and I had to take off the blazer. I had the blazer on.
All
Like,
right, so let's talk about what we're doing here tonight. I really didn't mention it in the notes, but I was going to talk about, it's 4th of July week, right? So we're kind of doing some American type stuff. But it's just like a start to summer with it. This is a cool concept. Did you come up with it? Did you mention this last week or did I? I don't remember who came up with it.
You were the one, because you're the one that came up with Moonshine, and then what's going to go with Moonshine?
No. So basically, over the next couple of weeks, we're going to take a clear alcohol and we're going to mix things with it. What would you mix with it? All right, because and I think we made a rule: only one thing in the mixture. So it's not like you can make a multiple drink. This was a alcohol and a juice, a mixer, something with it. And today's we're going to do moonshine. And I think the reason we chose moonshine this week was because it's 4th of July and it's kind of an American whiskey. But then for food, we chose Sloppy Joes.
And Sloppy Joes are very messy, y'all.
And they are messy. Yeah.
Now, hence the name Sloppy Joes.
I did, I got mine up on sandwich here. Two of them, I had some, I did the beef, added the sauces and stuff to it. And then and basically it's been simmering on my stove for about 40 minutes. Okay. I just let it simmer and I just added it all together about an hour ago. But yesterday, we decided to, it was family day home. We're like, you know what, we're just gonna do something simple. So we had hot dogs. So I had a hot dog left. Okay. Figured I'm gonna put the hot dog on there.
All right, let me get a picture of your, right. But turn it around so I can see the Sloppy Joes in the front.
Here's the Sloppy Joes, and then I've got a corn. I was corn on the cob. I just sliced it off.
Love it.
Yeah. Just those are just left over from our dinner yesterday, and I'm like, I'm gonna put them on. But then I went through my whole moonshine collection today, going, what am I gonna? Which moonshine am I gonna use? Right?
Kind of like me and Scotch. Which one do I put on?
Which one are you gonna use? I have favorites, right? And my all-time ultimate favorite, and I'm only using. So for the record, I'm only using what can be bought in the stores, not using the stuff that you can get out. So my second favorite, is just the one I have on my shelf, is the American Born. It's American Born Original Moonshine, free proof. I love it.
You have that?
Another one here that is same one. I have another one here that is a Mark and Digger's Sugarland Shine.
Okay, what I grabbed was the Climax. Was the other one?
That's my favorite Climax, which I am out of, and I couldn't get any here in time this week. However, I found something that you can pick up in most liquor stores, including mine. Buffalo Trace White Dog.
Oh,
This is awesome. So, and this was part of, I got this. So this was part of my Christmas present this year. And I just have found where I can get more of it because I love it. It is, anyway. So show us what you got on the food wise.
So I made the homemade Sloppy Joes, and I made that today. I threw on top some mozzarella and some pickles. So they look like fries, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are the Chester's Fries Carolina Barbecue.
Oh, cool.
On sale for $1.99. So I had to try them. They had chili cheese, and I said, no, I need something else because these should have a little tanginess, mustardiness to it. I thought that would be a compliment. Mm-hmm. You could also put pickled onions on this. You can put sauteed peppers.
I just chopped up red onions and put into it. I actually have some raw as well as some cooked in.
Yeah, I forgot to grab the rest of the sweet onion to throw on top because I love to add that chopped up raw onion on top. But this time I went with the pickles, so I went a little different. So when it comes to the drink, I do have both moonshines, and one of the things that I was reading is ginger ale. And since I still had ginger ale, I said, well, that's an option. And then the other one was like a lemonade. And I do have a black raspberry,
Okay.
well as a peach nectarine, which I thought would go very well.
Oh,
I'm thinking this one would be a better flavor for it. But the black raspberry seemed good, but I definitely want to try it with the ginger ale.
I never thought about trying. I didn't think about that. So I went because I really wanted to try it with cranberry juice.
Oh, yeah.
So I tried to find cranberry juice that was in the store. I did have a Bloody Mary mix, of course.
Okay.
But I Zing Zang is what we had. They didn't have the little cute ones I like at the store yesterday.
Yeah.
But, when I went to the liquor store today to try to see what other mixtures they might have, because I had pineapple juice, I had apple juice, but I'm like, I don't want to do those. Those are too bland ones I would normally do with a lot of things. So I was kind of looking for grapefruit juice. I was going to do a mule with moonshine. I couldn't find a grapefruit mule. I couldn't find any grapefruit juice today. But while I was at the liquor store today, I seen this.
Ah, yeah. On the rocks.
Chicory mix. And that's still going to be the first one I'm going to try. So I've got a little bit of moonshine in my glass, and I'm going to stir. I'm going to add a cube and stir. I'm not going to shake, right? Because I want to see what this one here. To me, I wonder what a straw, because it's sweet.
Yeah.
And your moonshine's going to be sweeter than like a vodka.
So do you suggest I use Climax or American Born?
I'm using the American Born. So
let's stick to the American Born. So I'm just going to put mine over ice.
Yep, I got my stirrer.
So I will be doing this over ice, and then I'm going to use the ginger ale.
And I probably should have added the ginger ale. I'm going to try that with different sodas with vodka, and when we do vodka and gin.
That looks pretty.
So when you do strawberry, anything in moonshine, it will make it a purplish pink color.
Okay.
It always does. So I'm gonna let you know that. So.
Okay. I'm gonna take a picture of this because this is kind of fun. And then, of course, I'm gonna give you all the history because there's
we've got a great history on Sloppy Joe's today. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of history. I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize how much history there was. So. Yeah, this goes down very well with the ginger ale. It's very nice. So I started doing a lot of research because that's just what I do, and I'm like, okay, what's the history? Because there's always history of all the food and drink, and then of course I send it to Tim, and then the sad part is that he didn't get it until he's like, did you attach something? And I was like, oops, I forgot to attach. So that was kind of my bad. But the Sloppy Joe's, it's actually very easy to make. It took me maybe half an hour to make it. I made it today. But of course, if you let it sit for a little bit longer, it'll give you a little bit more flavors. But essentially, you're going to have onions in there. You're going to have I used a red bell pepper, not green. A lot of them, they'll say green bell pepper, but really it's any color. But your chopped onion, chopped bell pepper, lean ground beef. Some of them will call for tomato juice. I used tomato sauce or a tomato puree. I also added tomato paste to thicken it up a little bit, chili powder. It called for molasses, the recipe I was looking at, and I didn't think I had molasses. And then I realized I did, but I had already put brown sugar in it. So I was not going to add molasses, although adding molasses would have given it a little bit of that smoky flavor. And I thought I had liquid smoke. I think I ran out because I couldn't find it, but liquid smoke will give it a little something, something. The Worcestershire sauce, apple cider vinegar. And I did add more than what the recipe calls for because I'm like, I need some more tang in here. Salt, pepper, and then you could also add a little bit of cornstarch if you want to thicken it. I think because I did use the tomato paste, that kind of helped a little. But that's what I did. I ground up or I sauteed the onions, the bell pepper, a half a jalapeno without the seeds, all chopped up, sauteed that. Then I added the ground beef. Then I added my salt, pepper. I added more oh, and there was garlic in there too, garlic. So ground garlic, but I put garlic powder. Um, I added a little bit of cumin because it was missing something. I was like, when it's missing something. So I added a little bit of cumin. The other thing I did not call for, but I added was 2 laurel leaves. I just wanted a little bit more. It just was missing some flavors in there. And so I started playing with it. The sauce had the tomato sauce, tomato paste, Worcestershire sauce, Dijon mustard. I added brown sugar in there and garlic, a little bit more garlic in there. Yeah, a lot of garlic, y'all. And then I added the cider vinegar in there, apple cider vinegar. I mixed that up. Once the ground beef was cooked and it was mixed with the veggies, then I added the sauce in there, sauteed it some more, added a little bit more condiments, added a little the 2 laurel leaves. And so the other batch that I have is sitting with the laurel leaves. So it'll add some of the flavor. It'll be good. But sloppy joes are very, very sloppy. So I'm cutting it in half.
I bought a can of mixed and sauce pre-mixed.
Okay.
But you talk about really, I could have put my barbecue sauce into it, truthfully.
Yeah. Well, the manwich is one. Hunt's manwich is one that you could have used. That's one of the originals. But there's just, it was just made by a mother that wanted to feed her kiddos. And so it was like, okay, what do I have? So she got a can of manwich, some ground beef and some buns, and threw it all together and found it simple and easy to make. So we don't have the actual origins of it because there's always some origin that somebody will say, well, that was my origin. I mean, I will blame my mom for coming up with the lattes because when I was a kid, she would heat up my milk and then add a teaspoon of the Taster's Choice decaf in there, mix it, put it in my bottle, and I would drink that. So my mama did the latte way back when. So there's always will be some stories. But it was believed that sloppy joes evolved from the loose meat sandwiches that were introduced by Freud Angel or Engel. I'm not sure how the pronunciation is. He's the founder of the Made Right restaurants back in 1929. But then others credit the cafe named Joe for the first loose meat sandwich in Sioux City, Iowa, during the test kitchens of H.J. Heinz. And they agreed that it's that's the research has been put into the Carnegie Library into the origins of sloppy joes. So there's that one where they're taking credit. But then John Mariani in the Encyclopedia of American Food and Drink says the origins are unknown, but the first mention was in 1940s for an Ohio restaurant. So there will always be debates. Others say that it was a bar in Havana, Cuba in the 40s and 50s, was a Key West, so you're going to find a lot of different reasons.
One comparison I'll bet you didn't find.
What's that?
If you Google, there's no official sandwich that is, but this is probably the sloppy joe's the closest likeness to what it is. If you Google from the movie Smokey and the Bandit, the Diablo sandwich, only that sandwich is made with pork. But a lot of the same stuff that goes into making this, with exception of pork and its beef, is very similar. All right. But that's only hearsay because there is no official menu, and there is no official menu anywhere where someone has what the Diablo sandwich was in that movie. But every appearance looks like a pulled pork with the sauce like you would have at a sloppy joe.
And a typical sauce today, and a lot of people will use ketchup. I use tomato sauce and tomato paste. So ketchup, barbecue sauce, as you said, you could have thrown your barbecue sauce in there, brown sugar with chili powder. And then, of course, the beef is browned with onions, bell peppers, garlic, Worcestershire sauce, mustard, hot sauce sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a mid-century addition. Started to add celery into the ground beef, and I think because somebody wanted a little bit of crunch. But you can add crunch by adding pickles, like I did,
Mm-hmm.
or you can add some chopped up onions just on top. So there are other ways, or you can put a pickled onions. So all of that will give you a different texture. Will give you a little bit of tanginess. Um, but
I haven't seen it, but very similar to a chili, you could have put chili beans into it.
mhm,
All right. Um, and basically, I mean, there's a ton of things that it could be, but what the official recipes are is what she's got in the history here today. Bottom line is sloppy joes is just like trying to mix three things together with your alcohol,
right,
right?
what's
It's
going
your
to
combination. Yeah.
Yep. And truly, it became very popular. It became established as an American sandwich in 1948.
Yeah.
So the Oxford Encyclopedia of Food and Drink in America, they are the ones who they state firmly established in America's sandwich culture by 1948. And so now it's like I remember in elementary school eating sloppy joes at lunchtime.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1952, it was declared a teenage favorite. And Libby's barbecue sauce and beef sloppy joe, which was a pre-made canned sloppy joe, was just very popular. And it's great to see some of these advertisements. It's kind of fun.
Um, so I tried my second mixture of things with cranberry juice.
Mm,
Too sweet for the sandwich.
mm,
All right. My third, which I think is probably going to be the winner because of it, but it's going to be too much tomato, is my Bloody Mary mix
mm.
and moonshine. Other than, truthfully, I would sit here and drink straight moonshine, truthfully.
Mm.
I
These
love the
fries.
Bloody Mary mix. Okay, yeah. I love the Bloody Mary mix with moonshine because it's got the the burn of the alcohol, but the taste because it's a more sweeter alcohol
Mm-hmm.
than like a vodka, but it's got a sweetness put on the back end of your Bloody Mary.
Okay. There is, I've seen a McCormick has a sloppy joe seasoning.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been around since the 1960s. But truly, the Manwich premiered back in 1969, which is a seasoned tomato-based sauce that all you need to do is brown your meat, mix it with the Manwich, and you're done. Then it became in 1977. It was so popular that they then made a family size can. So instead of the smaller ones, it became family size, which I thought was cute. You know what? Whatever makes it easier. But hey,
Well, I looked at the cans and I did not want to buy the name brand. I actually brought the Kroger brand.
okay.
All right. And when I tasted it and I mixed it, I'm going to tell you, it's very similar to what my sauce was. You know what I mean? A good barbecue sauce would have done the trick. But also, it's what you're cooking with the beef. My seasoning was salt, pepper, onion powder. I think I put some paprika,
Mhm.
smoked paprika. All right. And I did that same thing. I added some cumin into mine because I love, if I'm doing taco meat or anything ground beef, I like the cumin added to it. All right. A regular hamburger, I don't want that on.
Yeah.
But,
No.
but if it's something that's ground meat that's going to be put into a taco or put into something like that, I want the cumin added to it. It just gives that, it's like a punch that it gives the tongue. Would you agree with me on that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The ability for ground beef to be so flexible
Mm-hmm.
depends on what you want to do with it. You can do a lot with ground beef, and this is one that's just you can make it your own.
Mm-hmm.
and add those flavors, those yumminess that you wouldn't put on a burger.
That's right.
Mm. And sometimes when you're looking up recipes, the recipes have the same ingredients, but the proportions are different.
Yeah.
Like with this one, I had to adjust it because, in my opinion, I'm like, nope, it needs a little bit more tang. So I added some more of the Worcestershire sauce and I added some more of the apple cider vinegar. I'm like, and then I added a little bit more of the Dijon. I just need a little bit more tang because to me, a sloppy Joe has that tang. Would I want that in my burger? No, I don't want a tang on my burger. On my burger, I want avocado. I want my lettuce, my tomatoes, maybe some grilled onions. Um, but when it comes to sloppy joes, to me, it feels like it needs a little bit of tanginess in there, a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of tanginess, but it needs to have like that little bit of different crunch in there that just you know it's going to be a mess, but yet at the same time, you're expecting it and you're just like, oh my goodness, this just tastes so good.
Um, when I make my barbecue sauce, usually have an alcohol into it, and
Mhm. Yeah.
sometimes I put my cinnamon whiskey into it, but sometimes I do moonshine.
Mm.
So I could have very easily, with tonight's episode, made my sauce with moonshine into it, and then just added that to the beef. I didn't, but now I'm, thinking back, these are things I could have done with this sandwich tonight, and I didn't. I chose the easy way out because I was shopping yesterday and I just brought the cane.
Yeah. Well, I should have made this yesterday. And I think if I would have let it sit, it would have tasted even better today. But I think I did well the way I did. I was going, oh, this isn't too bad. But when somebody says, hey, you want pot roast? I'm like, yeah, if you're going to give me food, I will take it from your hands.
Yeah.
These little fries, this was fun because I thought of getting some chips. You can also add coleslaw. I was trying to figure out what to pair with it. And as I was going to get just some plain old, Lay's potato chips, I saw these on sale and I was like, they had ranch flavor, had barbecue flavor. The first one I saw was, of course, the Carolina style. And then I grabbed the chili cheese flavor and I said, no, I'm already having a chili cheese or a sloppy joe's. I don't need a chili cheese. So I thought this one would complement it because of the tanginess. I was going to expect that smokiness, which I was looking for. So this, and they have that little bit of a more texture. So it does give you the feel, and they do look like fries. Oh my goodness. Look at those. They look like fries.
They do.
So it's kind of fun. But always remember, there is tomato sauce in here. I wore black on purpose because I'm like, if anything spills,
White, yeah. I'm done wearing the white shirt on Mondays because I get so much stuff onto it. I'm thinking about what we chose tonight, and the fact that we chose to do the moonshine first. What is your favorite things to put? I mean, if you were pairing with most alcohols, what are your favorite things, and do they pair well with moonshine?
well, I would these ice sparkling ice because it's got a little bit of fizz.
Yeah,
That I would pair with vodka.
yeah.
Um, and usually I want a cherry or I want a strawberry. This time it's a nectarine, so I'm going to see how that fares. It's a little different, and see how I like it and how it goes with the sloppy Joe.
Mm-hmm.
So this one it allows the moonshine to come through.
Yeah.
Oh, see, so Robert is now hungry.
Well, let me get to the comments. I missed it.
So I truly think that this one is a little bit lighter, the peach nectarine. So that is going to allow the moonshine to come through.
The one thing I didn't have was I didn't get because I looked at what is those Mexican sodas are juices the I can't think of the name of the brand, but the blue can.
Mm.
And I looked at those at the store and I thought about getting those. Or I think
Not the
what I
jarritos.
did was I want to do them with tequila
Mm.
when we do tequila. Is
So
why.
we have jarritos, which is one of the ones that are in. They have various flavors. I mean, I'm trying to think of what Lucan you're thinking of, but the moment you said Mexican, I'm thinking jarritos, which is your Mexican flavored ones. There's pineapple, and then there's orange, and I think they have watermelon.
Well, orange and pineapple. I have it here, but I just didn't want to go with it. I don't know why.
Mm. I almost added the pineapple of those of the jarritos last week with what we had because I wanted something pineapple and not have to buy pineapple juice.
Yeah.
So I was this close to getting it and I didn't. Okay, so this time you put in a shot glass. So what did you do to that one?
This one here is the original I did with the strawberry daiquiri. I just poured it in a shot glass to separate the two. This one here is my cranberry. And I'm going to be able to tell one from the other.
Right. Okay.
Because they were going to have a matching look. And once I wanted to pull the ice cubes out, I didn't need to. I also have a lot, limited space on the desk. So, because I'm still trying to go back and forth with which ones I like. And having the corn was the other extra is because, it's a corn-based alcohol.
Oh my goodness.
But
okay, that one I tasted. I think I like it better with the ginger ale.
okay. Was it a ginger? Did you put anything else besides the ginger ale? Or just the ginger ale?
Just the ginger ale. I got this simple. I don't know that I would have wanted to add anything else other than ginger ale to that.
All right, now here's where I'm gonna really mess it up. Now, you know what's in here, right?
Just the moonshine.
Just the moonshine. Well, I do the Buffalo Trace one, but anyway.
Had you tasted it before, or is this the first time?
I have. It's very close in flavor to that climax.
Okay.
All right. It's probably because it's a triple grain like that. Corn, rye, malted barley, which is the exact recipe that is in both American Born and Climax. So this one here is just a corn whiskey from Sugarland, and this is the Mark and Digger corn whiskey is all it is.
Yeah, Sugarland's a little bit harder to get out here. I think we can get the flavored.
Yeah. But, most liquor stores, that's mostly what they carry is the flavor. All right. And I get it. Like really, Old Smoky's got a great butterscotch flavor. They have a great apple pie flavor, right? Some of their creams, I'm like, I'm not too much onto the creams. All right. But I want to find, if you've got the good original by itself.
Yeah.
Then when you add the flavors, it's going to be good, right? Climax actually has a wood aged version of what they do, and then they also have a pepper or a mint or peppermint.
Oh.
All right, which really it's too much. To me, it was too much. To me, peppermint and alcohol doesn't go well.
I think we've had some recipes that call for some creme de menthe.
Yeah, different. Totally different than infused into the alcohol.
Wow. I really like these. Oh my goodness, these are so good. And only 140 calories in 33 pieces, 8 grams of fat, 140 milligrams of sodium, 2 grams of protein.
Yeah.
And 10 milligrams of calcium.
Okay, so the corn whiskey by itself, that one's a little harder to take than
Okay, so I'm not the only one choking over here. Good.
Yeah, well, you got to, when it comes to moonshine, you don't drink, you sip.
Yep.
If you drink, it will, like, and because I was taking it out of the big container, I got the gulf of air coming in first, and that will stunt you and make you cough every time.
So keep that in mind as you are trying new things. So this one, because again, it's a peach nectarine. I'm like, oh, and it's fizzy. I did the big sip and it just hit me right there.
Yeah.
But I think the ginger ale went very well, and it paired nicely with the sloppy joes. Now, the other thing that I considered doing was getting some fries and throwing some of the sloppy joes on top of the fries, because that is just the bomb. But then for that, you need some good cheddar cheese on top. And I ran out of Tillamook, which is my favorite, followed by Benton's, I think it is the other one. Just some really good cheddar cheese, local here in Portland or Oregon. I'm not going to say Portland because Tillamook is Tillamook. It's about an hour and a half away from where I'm at. And that's where the Tillamook Creamery is. And they make cheese and they make yogurt and they make ice cream, all the things. And they're really good. But it's local, so it tastes really good.
Well, you know what, so like we're starting to do now, we're basically, my daughter and my wife, they, whatever we have for the show tonight is dinner. Well, for my grandson tonight, basically she took some of the mix of sloppy joes and mixed it in with his macaroni and cheese.
Oh, fun.
And I mean, he was, when I was cooking it and before it went to simmer, I tasted for flavor, and he tasted and he'd come following me back to the kitchen. He wanted more. So
nice. Some good flavors. I mean, you could take something that's pre-made, add a few extra little things, and it just elevates it. One example is that my cousin would get like, not cup of noodles, but something like that, you know, where it's the noodles where you're adding the broth, and you can either use half of their seasoning or put your own seasonings in there to make it, you know, taste good. Then what he would do is he would add sliced up carrots, scallions, and if he had beef, chicken, or shrimp, would add that in there. And it just, something that was very simple and very inexpensive. Now all of a sudden you're adding all these additional flavors to it, and it just elevates it. So you can do that with something that's pre-made. You can get the manwich and then add your own little flavors to it. What do you like? Add a little bit more bell pepper in there, maybe some sweet onions, maybe some salt.
I could have added the corn into it, cooked them into it, really.
Yeah. So again, I considered doing some coleslaw. So when you are making a meal, this time I wanted to keep it simple, so I just made the manwich. Oh my goodness, I'm going to call it a manwich, the sloppy joes. And I just wanted to add this just because I wanted to add fries to begin with. So this is the closest I'm getting to it. And I think I'm going beyond the 33s at this point. I think I'm beyond the 33 single fries. So my calorie count has increased at this point. But that Carolina style does go well with the peach nectarine. It still goes better with the ginger ale, but with the peach nectarine, because you have the tanginess, the sweetness of the peach just tones it down.
Yep.
But when it comes to the sloppy joe, the ginger ale, that sweetness of the ginger ale, and this is a sugar-free ginger ale, it compared very nicely with the sweetness in the sloppy joe, but the sloppy joe was the star of the show. The ginger ale.
Would it work with ginger beer?
I was reading ginger beer. You do not want to do that. Ginger ale, okay, ginger beer, no. And I was like going, well, I might have to try that to see what I think, because that's just a critic saying that. Do I want to follow that? I don't know. But the ginger ale did tone down the moonshine. So it toned down the moonshine, but it complemented the sloppy joe. So that's why I think it went very well. because you still got that moonshine in there, but without it being in the forefront. But I think the next time I make sloppy Joe, I might just throw some moonshine into my sloppy Joe.
Yeah.
I like to experiment.
My barbecue sauce, I put a third of a cup of alcohol.
And sometimes it's been a whiskey, sometimes it's cinnamon whiskey, and sometimes it's something else.
I've done cinnamon whiskey, which is like Fireball, but I do Iron Wolf. I've done Jack Daniels.
Oh,
all right. I've done Moonshine. I think I did regular Iron Wolf bourbon once. Right. I do like the cinnamon, but like every now and then I like to do it with the moonshine. And the first place I ever tasted someone did moonshine in their barbecue sauce was there was a restaurant used to be here in the North Dallas area, or North Texas area, called Mashed,
okay.
and they had a moonshine barbecue sauce. They're since gone, and I think there's only one of them left in San Antonio. But
did you get to taste that barbecue sauce?
Oh yeah, I had it many times. So
I'm still eating my fries, y'all.
I'm still finishing off my sloppy Joe, and it's making messes on my shirt.
I was gonna say you're making a mess there. That's usually what I do. You know, because I'm the one with the drinking
I have
problem.
2 napkins today, by the way, just in case.
I got this one here. I got this one here, and I got this one over here. Ooh, I still have a couple of bites where I heated up my.
The one thing I didn't think for to put with this was probably, would be a great additive on the side was a good dill pickle. Did you? Yeah. See.
This is what was in here. I also have Nellies at home.
Yeah.
That you can get at Costco, the 2 of them. But these are the minis, little. Oh, these are fun. So
am I correct with the sloppy Joe? It goes well.
Oh yeah, I sliced up one of them, and oh yeah, it just gave it a little something. Add some pickles in there. Now, you can add whatever pickle you want.
Yeah.
I like the kosher dill or the dill. You could put in some sweet, but again, do you really want more sweet into your sloppy joes? Maybe, maybe not. It's your preference.
Yeah, sloppy Joe is sweet by itself as it is. So I don't know as though I'd want more sweet, but I was just thinking a good dill pickle. That's one thing I wish I would have put out here on the spread.
Mm-hmm. I did that because I didn't have time to make my pickled onions.
Yeah.
And I didn't want coleslaw. I had already had coleslaw a few days ago. I forgot why about coleslaw. I just didn't want coleslaw. It just, in my opinion, coleslaw just doesn't go as well with sloppy joes. If it was pork, all the way.
Yes.
But not with sloppy joes. It's like, I don't know. So it's supposed to be tangy, but to me, it just depends.
Now, one thing, we had these on hamburger buns, but one thought I had to do tonight was put it on a flour tortilla.
Oh.
I didn't do it, but I actually thought about that. And I was wondering if you'd ever done them on tortillas.
Not that I can think of, but I have flour tortillas at home.
It's like, because it's less bread, but it's also a good bread, a good flavor of bread to go with it.
Oh, yeah. It's like, it's reminding me of some barbacoa, or one of the things that I do is that I chop up potatoes and onions.
Yeah.
Ground up my beef. I might add tomatoes, maybe not, but I season it. But usually it's without tomatoes. So ground beef, potatoes, onions, seasonings. And I throw that into a flour tortilla. Oh my goodness. Very yummy. I love that. But then again, I can use a flour tortilla for just about anything.
Yeah.
I'm a Latina, so give me corner flour tortillas. Guess what? I'm going to turn anything into a burrito or a taco. I mean, the last 2 breakfasts I made this weekend or that I had this weekend, I had my flour tortilla right there. So here's one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's my flour tortilla right there. Bacon. I made my salsa with a few things, and there's an egg in there, and then oh, this picture doesn't. Oh, there it is. There it is. There's my tortilla right up here. With my eggs, my bacon, my salsa,
See,
and my potatoes.
and I bring that up because probably growing up, you had a tortilla. A tortilla was a hamburger roll. It was a hot dog roll for you growing up.
Oh
For
yeah,
me,
I would. Oh yeah, I would get a hot dog. It would be grilled or cooked, whatever. You roll it in a flour tortilla. You put ketchup and mustard, whatever you wanted in it. Roll it up and eat it. That was
for us, it was a slice of Wonder Bread was a hamburger roll, a hot dog roll. All right, it was a sandwich. It was a hoagie roll. It was everything.
right.
You know what I mean? It's all the culture where you grew up. Now, if I grew up where you grew up, I probably would have had everything on a tortilla.
And sometimes, if we didn't have any hamburger buns, it would be sliced bread.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's all we
Yeah.
had was sliced bread. We didn't have hamburger roll.
I didn't have Wonder Bread. I just had sliced,
Yeah, we had
like
sliced bread, but the same thing. A Wonder Bread's like well, I did a thing one time. I was doing a photo shoot, and we were trying to show loaf of bread, and the guy in the store said, "Use Wonder." Someone sees the word Wonder on a thing, they know it's a loaf of bread.
true story on that. Yeah, Wonder Bread is known. My buns were Signature Select sourdough.
Oh, so I had some of the mini potato rolls we used for the sliders last week. I thought about doing that, but I had some ballpark rolls that I needed to finish up, and I have both the ballpark rolls and the hot dog buns from this weekend. And truthfully, I was almost going to put mine on a hot dog roll because I had that many of them left. But I decided I had two. I had three of the hamburger rolls left, so I decided to use two of them. My daughter used one. So,
Okay.
All right, this has been an interesting podcast. Interesting flavor connections.
Yes.
So, any closing ideas on this?
Make it your own, y'all.
Yeah.
If you see a manwich, make it your own, or just grind up your beef. Look up a Google recipe. I'm trying. Oh, you know what? I might still hold on. Let me. I got mine from Feasting at Home, Best Sloppy Joe Recipe. It was updated March of 2025 by Sylvia Fontaine. So that's where I got mine. Feasting at Home. There's others out there. Just get if you have to be exact, just pick one of the recipes, taste it, see how you like it, and then just adjust it just a little bit. Do you want it a little bit more tomatoey? You could use ketchup if you want. I don't. Yeah. But if you do use ketchup, it's perfectly okay. You can throw in some barbecue sauce to balance it out. Put some flavors in there. Put some bell peppers. It doesn't matter what color. They're on sale right now. Go with bell peppers, some onions, garlic. Those are three things that I would say. Put it into your meat, saute it, then add the ground beef, then add your sauce. And let it sit, let it simmer, because that's where all the flavors are just going to come out, kind of like a Italian sauce. Yum.
Okay.
And Robert, go eat.
I'm pretty sure he's gone to eat by now, but anyway. All right. Yeah, I personally got to say, guys, whether you get it from the can or whether you go make your own recipe, it is a great meal to get every now and then. I mean, I got to tell you, it's been years since I've had sloppy joes. And don't wear white shirts when you're going to eat them. That's what I will say. That's my only advice but then again, this podcast has shown me don't wear white on Mondays because it will get dirty if I do. So
I think while I was cooking, I felt something and I went, oh, did I just spill?
Yeah. Robert ate. So
good deal.
And yeah, I mean, every week, I mean, I've had weeks where I've made the food and I had to go change my shirt before we went live. But anyway, it's this podcast is designed for us to enjoy food, enjoy drink, and get through it and enjoy the day. So, but anyway, I thought this was a great combination. And I do like this idea of just finding 3 things to mix. And now I mixed 3 things, but I so bad want to go try like a mango juice and I want to go try ginger ale with it now because I didn't do that. You did.
Yeah, the ginger ale, because I had it and I'm like, oh. And then I'm like, it's at the office. It's at the office. And I went to the fridge today and I'm like, where's my ginger ale? And I'm looking at my bottom shelf and it was in the middle shelf because it's a little bit bigger. And I'm like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
It was yum. I liked it.
Cool beans. So we had a really good show here. So before we go, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go a couple of quick shout outs. We do have a VIP Insiders Club. So please, you want to do more things with us, maybe get part of our events when we do them in the next couple of months. We'll be putting together our first event. All right. But you got to be 21 to join. Go to likethewayyoudrink.com and click the button that says join the Insiders Club. All right. Put your name, information, and put your birthday in there so we know that you're over 21. And that way we can market to you about our events and we can invite you to our events because you're over 21.
Yep.
Other than that, it is our businesses that pay the bills here every week. And you want to do the commercials, or you want me to run?
Let's do the commercials. I think that'll be fun.
All right, I have to go in here because I actually got the commercials for multi businesses. So we're gonna do this one first.
Welcome to Insurance by Design, the expert in crafting tailored employee benefits packages, working with both your English and Spanish-speaking staff. Led by the acclaimed Gladys Boutwell, we're licensed to serve you in Oregon and Washington. Gladys brings a wealth of expertise with an MBA in international business and leadership, and is a certified insurance counselor. Honored for her contributions to Latino equity in Oregon, Gladys is also a best-selling author. Her book, Health Insurance Secrets Revealed, is revolutionizing how we understand insurance. With bilingual prowess, Gladys enhances communication, making insurance smoother and easier for all your employees. Is your website attracting the traffic and engagement it deserves? At SimpleEasyWebsites.com, we specialize in transforming ordinary websites into extraordinary experiences. Our experts know what it takes to make your online presence stand out and succeed. Gain valuable insights and tailored strategies with our professional website review. Don't let your website be just another page in the digital world. Visit SimpleEasyWebsites.com now and book your consultation today.
And that's who we are.
That's all I got.
Just remember, I'm going to be in Texas in August, so we might do an event while I'm there. And there's a tequila tasting that I know that I was asked to host, and I have to figure out the date on that because they gave me a date, but I don't know if I'm available, so we'll figure that one out, and that will be in Portland. Actually, it's going to be in Vancouver, Washington.
Cool. Which is just like over the river for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 23 miles away.
That's
it's fun.
like Dallas, 23 miles away.
You know, traffic has been horrid. I was going over to Canby that normally takes me 18 minutes on a bad day. It took me 42 minutes to get there, 21 just to get on the freeway. And I couldn't go anywhere just because where I was at. I couldn't just say, forget it, let me go over here. I was stuck where I was at. And then once I got on the freeway, 21 minutes later, 6 lights, then I'm on the on-ramp, and then it took another 8 minutes to actually get on the freeway. It was bad. This was yesterday.
My gosh.
Today wasn't so bad. Today it only took me about, 32 minutes. It was crazy, but it's fine. We'll figure it out.
I was coming home from an event Thursday night. Gosh, had to be close to 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And the one freeway that comes over the bridge was shut down because they're redoing a bridge onto it. So I had to get off and go around and go down around a peninsula to come up the other side of the lake. Anyway, life.
Right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back next week with another great episode. We have another great thing of mixing threes that'll be next week. So come join us and find out more next week. In the meantime, guys, cheers.
Cheers, y'all.